Hi everybody, welcome to Tea Tuesday. I guess I decided today I'm going to continue working on my quilt blocks that I have going for this Pioneer sampler. I still am doing catch-up work. I have to finish June yet and it's already into July. So hopefully I'll finish June this afternoon and then I'll carry on with July and get that out of the way so I don't have to worry about that. But I did a good job of catch-up though. I did April and May just within last month, and now I'm working on June. So I'll be showing you about that one, okay? But for right now, like I said, it's Tea Tuesday, and I am here with you having tea in a way. No, I don't have tea today. It's a very hot day here. So of course, maybe there is some benefit to drinking a hot liquid on a hot day, but I just enjoy having a cold beverage instead. So what I have, it's not tea, but it is a new drink that I've become a fan of. I have always been an avid Pepsi drinker. Anywhere, anytime, Pepsi over Coca-Cola, you know, hey, Pepsi that was it. And who knows, maybe I grew up that way because my mother was a Pepsi drinker, and I remember her buying, you know, the cartons of Pepsi, the bottles, like a 6-pack or an 8-pack, and we'd carry that home, and you know, she'd top off a bottle and we'd split it type of thing. But yes, I grew up having Pepsi. There was Pepsi in my household as a child. So I have had Pepsi in my house as an adult. But until lately, I've drunk just basically straight Pepsi. I've tried Diet Pepsi, I've tried other new flavors that are out now of Pepsi. No. But within the past month, my husband and I tried Pepsi Zero. That's what I'm drinking. It has a much better taste to it than the Diet Pepsi, and it does remind me of the regular Pepsi. So yeah, Pepsi Zero is what it is now. And I don't drink a lot of pop anymore because you know what? As you get older, you just can't tolerate it. Your system just won't tolerate the drinks like that, the carbonated drinks. So I treat myself to maybe this much. Not on a daily basis by any means, but when I decide that I need to have some carbonated drink, this is about my limit. And really, I don't drink at all either. So, but I'm enjoying it this afternoon, back here in my sewing room, spending time with you all. So, hope you're having a good one. I'm going to be sweating away here at the sewing machine. Oh, and also, I've had some questions as far as what type of sewing machine I have. So let me just go over that real quick. It's nothing fancy. Just a second. Yeah. What I have, let me bring you down here a little bit. Okay. This is a machine that William bought for me, oh, what, 5-6 years ago maybe. I was going to sewing classes at a little quilt store. I was going to the sewing classes at a quilt store nearby, and one of the gals there bought a similar machine, and I thought it was the cutest little thing. It's a Viking machine, but it's a H-class machine. Very basic. It does have some embroidery stitches here, not a lot, and different types of stitches, length. It's very plain. Change your speed. You know, not a lot of attachments for it, but that's okay. I find that I just need the most basic machine. I did have the Designer one, and I bought that as a brand new machine actually way back. And I loved it, but I rarely used it, and I absolutely did not use it for embroidery purposes, which is what it was all about. Everybody in classes that I attended raved about the machine. They wish they would have had one, yet what you find with people that sew a lot is that whenever a new machine comes out that catches their eye, they will trade up, and that's exactly what a lot of people did. And yet here I was with a Designer one, you know, what, 10, 12 years later after they came out, and other machines had come out since in the designer line and in the Viking line period that these people had moved on to and kind of regretted it. They wish they would have kept their designer one, is what I'm trying to say. Well, I loved the machine. I rarely used it though. I maintained it. It was very well maintained. And I finally decided that, well, I had this machine at the time that I used for classes, and then the designer one, which was basically set up back here and kept here. And I just thought, I don't need two machines. So at I'd say the beginning of the pandemic, when everybody was making all the face masks, I just decided that it was time to sell it. And I did find somebody that timing was just perfect. Their machine was dying on them and they needed a good machine. And I said, well, mine is good. It's old, but it's like brand new. It is like brand new. And they found out that I was telling the truth. So anyway, they got that machine and all of the attachments that I had for it, and many programs, a lot of software that I had for it that I never used. They got a good deal. Now, whether or not they're going to use it for the embroidery purposes, I don't know, but they have the capability. And I'm very happy with this machine right now. I don't think I would ever go another high-tech embroidery machine like that again. I just need something pretty basic like this little guy. And with maybe just a few built-in embroidery stitches, that's all I need. I don't do a lot of embroidery work. So anyway, this is the machine I'm using for this quilt. This is the only machine I have right now, so I'm very happy with its performance. It probably could use a little oiling, which I'm going to take care of one of these days real soon. But anyway, this is what I'm going to use this afternoon. So come on along with me while I start telling you about the June project that I'm working on to get caught up with this quilt sampler. What I'm working on for June, okay, I know it's July, but it's just barely July, and I am still getting caught up. I've already finished the April and May squares that, well, I just finished that up last month, as a matter of fact, late last month. I'm finishing up June now, and I think I just might get to working on July this week sometime, get that out of the way. But for June, it's this block, and it's called Colorado. With every quilt block that there is here in the sampler book, there's a story right here that goes along with the block and the name. And I guess it kind of explains how the block got named. It's a little history of Colorado. That's typical of Eleanor Burnes's quilt books. A lot of them have very historic patterns in them, and she delves into that and tells a little history of how that pattern got named, you know, how it came about. So I find that interesting in her quilt books. But outside of that, sometimes her quilt books are a little difficult to read for me and to try and figure out exactly what she's doing. So having said that, let me show you what I've got going here so far for this June block that I'm working on. I've already cut out the pieces. I'm getting ready to put them together. Actually, some of them have to be cut even more, but let me show you what I've got here so far. Per the directions, it said to cut these, and I'll give you the dimensions too of each block, each square that I've cut out. Okay, so let me pull you around here or show you what the material is. So what I have to work on here is, let's see here, this is my dark square, 7 1/4 inches square, and then this is my light square, and that's 8 1/2 inches square. Then it said to cut some triangles out of the medium colored square material, and these are 3 1/2 inches by 6 1/2 inches. So that's my medium color. And then to the light again, it said to do 3 1/2 inches square and do 8 pieces. Now, from there, I'm going to kind of it looks like what I'm understanding the direction so far is to put this square on this one and then do a rectangle. That's the next step anyway. Well, let me get putting this together and I'll be back. Welcome back. My ice is all melted here. I've been working hard, but I have the June block done, and I'm pleased with it. You know, I have to trim the block up, but that will be done when the final sewing comes in. Let me show you what I did. This is the June block. So I have that caught up. Next is to work on the July block. And I have the fabric all cut up for that. And let's see here. July is called the Illinois block. This is the July block. I'm learning all sorts of new things that I haven't done before or haven't done in quite some time by working out of this book. It has been challenging on a couple of them so far, and the year's not even half over. Oh boy. But I've mustered through, so this is going to be a sampler quilt put together at the end of the year for sure. I'm not working on this just to have it not be a real quilt, okay? So this is my quilt piece for June. And this was the little sewing machines here in the medium color. The dark color had all sorts of sewing notions and embroidery hoops on it. And then the gold was just the gold, to bring out the gold pieces in the other two pieces of material, okay? Well, that's it for this session of #TTuesday. I hope you're all having a good one out there. We are getting ready to have a storm, and it is just Tropical Storm Elsa. So hopefully she remains that and doesn't do a lot of damage when she crosses Florida. But who knows? A lot can happen. You know, we're waiting to see what happens, and that's what it is with a hurricane. You just kind of, you know, it's out there for almost several weeks, and you just kind of wait and see what it's going to be like when it hits land. Now, and as it gets closer to Florida. From what I understand, I have not heard for sure yet, but there's another hurricane on the tail of Elsa. So we'll be watching that one too. We're ready. We're as ready as we can be. So, you know, it's like, hey, that's the time of year it is here. We're prepared for it. So whatever happens, happens. I hope you're all having a good one. You take care. But for right now, it's going to be bye. I have a dog and I have a husband that is wanting their dinner. right now, and it's going on 6 o'clock, so I better get busy out in the kitchen. Until next time, guys. Bye for now. Happy Tea Tuesday.